Good afternoon from a very dry, very sunny, very pleasant, no rain whatsoever, blue sky, Peterborough. First, this. Right, good morning from a bleak, grey, dry, breezy, not Peterborough. I'm back in Turves, so progress, this is where we are. I'll talk you through it. So initially my mate's doing the path. He's got beyond where I'm going to be needing him out of the way. So the plan is I need to try and create something that is natural with a man-made background, if that's possible. And we are actually making this up as we go along. So this side I've put a rudimentary stream in, a drop and a return, and that'll go back into the sump there. Ignore this for the moment, but this is the log that I want to use because it's got a natural spillway out of it. And we've got a log underneath that we can also use, but we're in two minds which one to use, but I think we're going to go for that. So there is a hole in the wall where the pipe will go up through this cavity and then into this pipe, and those eagle-eyed koi tubers will recognise that this pipe was on my old pond and it looked like a toilet sewer, but in this situation it looks spot on. So the water will run down here, drop down here. I'm going to build a banking to push the water and kick it this way. The water will then travel down here, drop, swing round and return into that sump. And that's in theory, we shall see. The other side, so this log is going to be sat here right next to this path, so my mate's wife can sit on this log and she can put her feet in this little area here, which is going to be swirling around with water that's going to be bubbling up out of one of these, and one of these will have plants in next door, so just basically a step down. Again, in theory, this wall will have a trough against it, propped up, and there is going to be some kind of brass tap or brass gas valve arrangement, and that pipe is going to be core drilled into here somewhere, into this cavity and out through here. The bricks that are on the floor, we're going to try and recreate a broken wall that's been seriously damaged over time. The weather's got to it and it's collapsed, so we've got all these bricks to play with just to put round here. How that's going to work, I have no idea. Again, making it up as we go along. So reverse side, no water features at all. This is going to be all plants, and this telegraph pole is going to be cut fractionally higher than this, but not as tall as that. It was going to have a dovecote on, you can just see the top of it over there. And then this side again, this is all going to be earth, and I've just connected some armoured cable into that weatherproof box, and that will be fastened against this wall and then disguised somehow. We haven't decided yet, work in progress. So at the moment I am just playing around this side. I have to build a bund wall, a banking of earth there to support this, and this afternoon is a metre by a metre by a metre cage of large boulders and a cage of small boulders coming, so we can try and create a waterfall of some kind. This is either going to look absolutely lovely or it'll be an absolute disaster. Anyway, stick with us. Let's see what we can come up with. Right, the wind has got up. There's been about 4 hours progress since we started. I put an hole in the liner. Oh god. But my colleague is going to sort that out. So what we've done is basically laid the liner down, set the water running to get an idea of whereabouts sort of we want everything to go. So let's have a look. So first of all, we've got this beautiful shaped bit of wood. It's going to drop off there and onto some rocks, and then this is going to be probably 2 more steps, and then the water will pass across here. I'm going to put 2 framing stones and a spillway there. I'm going to seal up around the back so this will gradually rise, and then it should tip and drop into there to create more water sound. The water then travels across the path side, and you've got 3-inch pipe there, 32mm, 32mm, and that's managing to take the water away. So that's just the bare bones of where we want to be. The rest of the liner will be covered in rock and gravel, and perhaps pea gravel just to fill in the tiny gaps, and all this liner will be trimmed to fit. Over this side, this is where I put the hole, absolute mousse, but we're going to get some proper sealant in there. So this log, which we spoke about, will be here, and then my mate's feet will just stand in there. The route of the pipe will be different. We've just left it full length because we don't know whereabouts we want that. There will be a trough on this wall, and this is the supply to the trough, but we need to buy a brass tap to make it look a bit old-fashioned. See if I can lift this cover out. So as you can see, pump is dropped in there. That's an EA20000 being fed onto 2 38mm pipes, and we've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 returns, all dropping into a 1000 litre IBC, which is buried. Even that sounds nice. We're still waiting for the rocks to be delivered, and as usual they're just not here in time. So we're going to wrap up, call that a day, and come back to it at a later date. But it does sound really nice, even though it looks a bit bare bones at the moment. It does sound really nice. I'm well happy with that. One of the vari pumps failed, error 3, but I've spoken to the supplier and he's going to replace it, which is fantastic. Anyway, if you've got any ideas, please put them forward. If not, I'll keep giving you updates about how we've progressed on this job, and we'll see if we can get it looking really nice once the rocks, we've got the sun in your eyes, once the rocks and the gravel arrive. So I'll catch you later. Cheers. So the job that you've just seen, I bought, or my mate bought, 2 EA20000 pumps. They were there in front of him, he had to have them, he just bought them. And this job only required 1 pump, so instead of returning that pump, I'm having it, so I'm going to buy it off my mate. And I'm going to run it on my pond at some time to replace a 10,000 to see if I can reduce the amount of wattage. Speaking of wattage, and with Martin, Devon Koi Pond in mind, those are our solar panels. And they're about 1.8 meters by 600. So there is, oh sorry, so there is about 5 in total, and I think they're 300 watts each, giving a total of 1.5 kilowatts. So I'd really like to give you some valuable, awesome information about them, but I can't. So I shall just show you the readout, which basically shows that it's charging. Sorry, not charging, it's is it charging? Yeah, basically it's working, and it scrolls between 2 menus. So I'll just show you anyway. It might be self-explanatory. So I hope you can see that. There we go. So it puts the date on. Are you getting... Let me shut this door. That might be creating an issue. Is that better? Oh, not much. But that's the date, and that's the wattage it's creating. So 105, 106, but the sun is already going down. So the best we can hope to achieve is 1500 watts. When it's a moody, miserable day, we generally get about 90, 100 watts. This has no charging system. Sorry, this has no battery backup, because the people that installed this, which was it Eon? Something like that, they actually said there's insufficient power being produced to warrant the extra expense of buying a battery kit. However, we are due to have a new roof put on, old house leaking, end of story, and there is a hope there will be money available to add more solar panels to the house roof, connect them to this system, and have battery chargers and battery backup. I'm not totally au fait, so if I'm sounding like I'm just making it up, I'm just making it up. Is it a good system? Kat wanted it. Kat's highly delighted. Both of us, we just don't totally understand how it works, but there is initially a cost saving, and Kat's one of these people that just needs to be kind to the planet. She's just one of those people, bless her. That's probably why I married her, and that's how she thinks. So the 3 items that you get installed are this main box, the inverter, and then you get a isolator and a photovoltaic system of some design. Then the 5 solar panels on the top, installed just in a few hours. So the guys who did it about 18 months, 2 years ago now, cracking job. Could I recommend them? Yes, but please do your homework and please have more understanding than I have. The end. Let's talk about pumps. So going back to this pump, this little blighter, this for some reason is blowing bubbles, which I mentioned on the last video. If I turn this off, there is no leaks whatsoever. I just don't get it. It's working well, but it's just blowing bubbles, so clearly that's not right. But as it's not creating an issue at the moment, touch wood, I'm going to leave that as it is. I mentioned earlier about getting a EA20000. Never used EA before, so I went down to speak to Mark at JKI, Japan Koi Import, down at Needhamworth, St Ives, and he is pretty red hot on all the statistics that's needed to run pumps: bore size, head capacity, runs, power usage, the absolute lot. He's got reams and reams of graphs and information, and he can only really explain it if you're there. To do it over the phone, it'd be an absolute impossibility. So if you want some information specifically on EA20000, 20000, 30000, speak to Mark, and better still go see him at Japan Koi Imports. So myself and Mark had a really good chat about the whys and wherefores of 10,000 litre pumps. Basically any 10,000 litre pumps, especially mine. So I'll basically talk about my system. I'm having to run my pumps, all three 10,000s, at very high wattages. And okay, very high wattage, we're only talking like 80 watts. But after speaking or after watching Martin Devon Koi Pond, explanations about pumps down there, then watching Righty change from a 20,000 to a 30,000, because I've got this pump sat in my hands, I can't turn it down with the possibility of saving money. So I'm going to buy that off my mate. I'm going to hopefully install it where the one that's blowing bubbles is going. I'm tight for space. It's either going to fit or it's going to be a big change. I'm going to have to move a lot of pipework. We shall see. But I'm hopefully going to run a 20,000 on that, turn it right down to achieve the same flow rate. 20,000 best flow rate is through 2-inch pipework. I don't have 2-inch pipework, I've got 1.5 inch. So instantly I've got losses, and that's to be expected. If you're going to try and push 2-inch worth of water through a 1.5 inch pipe, you're going to get losses. It's not going to go through. But I'm still confident I can make a saving. So what I want to try and do is the water feature that you've seen over at Turbs, that's currently running at 60%, which even maybe might be too volatile for the water features that we have and how we want them to appear. That's currently running at 120 watts. So that's 3 water features at 120 watts, and I'm pretty certain we might be able to get that down to about 100 watts. 3 water features over a 20-foot distance. Think about it. If I do involve a 20,000 litre pump in my system, I'll do a breakdown of it. But just going back, if you want any information about 10s, 20s and 30s EA, speak to Mark at Japan Koi Import. Anyway, I'm going away soon. I'm going to Nottingham. So in the meantime, 2 jabs, 1 booster, maybe 2 boosters. Look after your family, stay safe, and goodbye.